Right now at 11, the country in shock from the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. The aftermath as the Republican National Convention gets underway in Wisconsin. Plus,
you know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down.
President Biden speaking directly to Americans after that shooting in Pennsylvania. His message in order to move forward. And breaking right now at 11, a man killed in a house fire in Revere. The role the heat played while firefighters worked to put out the flames. News 11 starts right now. All right, first let's talk about this heat because we are giving you a live look outside over the Charles River through Boston. It is absolutely beautiful out there, but it is already hot and it's not even noon yet. Thanks so much for being with us today at 11. I'm Melody Mendez. Look, you cannot escape it, especially in July. The heat and the humidity, they're sticking around for the next few days. So let's get to First Alert meteorologist Sydney Welch, who's tracking it all for us today. All right, Sid, what's the latest on these heat alerts?
Well, if we only saw the heat, it would feel a lot better. It's really that humidity out there, unseasonable humidity, more like the Gulf Coast. That's what we're going to see for humidity these next couple of days. Not exactly normal for New England. For that reason, we do have a heat advisory as it could feel up to 102 degrees these next couple of days. So those actual temperatures at 93, 95, 94 degrees the next 3 days. We're going to be teetering in those middle 90s and 90s. That's still warm, but it's July. It's really that humidity with dew points in the upper 70s in spots. A 77-degree dew point in Norwood. For reference, comfortable ends around 60 degrees for that dew point. So we're well above that. Most of us at least in the low 70s as far as those dew points are concerned. So temperatures right now, it's not looking all that warm, but as Melody said, it's before noon and we're still watching these temperatures climb. We're in the upper 80s, Norwood 89, Fitchburg 88, Worcester 85. So we're not likely to be nearing records at this point. Those records are 5-6 degrees above what the temperatures we're going to be seeing these next couple of days are. But as mentioned, it's the humidity that's going to be making it feel very warm out there. So 2 o'clock heading through our day, we're going to be seeing temperatures in the low 90s, feeling like 98 degrees, feeling like 100 degrees as we go between 3 and 4 o'clock. Definitely stay hydrated. Wear light colors if you have to be outside, but the best time to get outside is going to be after the sun goes down or at least closer to that sunset. We'll talk more about rain chances and the potential for storms coming up next.
All right, Sydney, thanks for that. Meanwhile, we want to get to breaking news we're following for you right now. More headlines involving former President Donald Trump. A federal judge in Florida has dismissed the classified documents case against him. You may remember this involved accusations that Trump kept highly sensitive documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate, then refused the government's requests for them to be returned. Now today, Judge Aileen Cannon ruled the appointment of Jack Smith as special counsel in the case violated the Constitution. Cannon was appointed as a federal judge by then President Donald Trump. The Justice Department, the special counsel's office, and the Trump campaign did not immediately respond to requests for comment. But again, the classified documents case against President Trump has been dismissed. We're gonna have more throughout the day right here on NBC 10 Boston, so stay with us. Now, this latest news for the former president comes as he prepares to take the stage after this weekend's assassination attempt. This is video of his plane landing in Wisconsin yesterday for the Republican National Convention. There he is getting off the plane. We've just learned that Trump told Fox News he is planning to make his announcement for who his choice is for vice president today. Now, in recounting what happened this weekend, Trump told the New York Post he's, quote, not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be dead. The nation is still reeling from Saturday's attempt on the former president's life in Pennsylvania. So we have team coverage for you this morning. Alicia Palumbo is keeping an eye on heightened security concerns ahead of the RNC. But we want to begin with NBC 10's Kirsten Glavin, who's in Butler, Pennsylvania, where this all unfolded.
In the wake of the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump, President Joe Biden addressing the nation Sunday night, asking Americans to lower the temperature in politics heading into an already heated election this November.
Politics must never be a literal battlefield, and God forbid, a killing field.
Trump supporters in Butler, Pennsylvania, screaming and watching in horror as the former president wipes blood off his right ear, then ducks.
All we know is we heard gunshots. We look at the stage and Trump's not there.
The political violence unraveling at a rally on Saturday, with those in the crowd running for safety.
It was just mass chaos, people screaming.
Federal Federal officials confirmed the attempted assassination was carried out by a gunman named Thomas Matthew Crooks. The 20-year-old was allegedly perched on a rooftop outside the venue, armed with an AR-15-style rifle, before being shot dead by the Secret Service. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro identifying the fatally wounded victim as 50-year-old Corey Comparator, a former firefighter who, according to his wife, was a hero.
Corey dove on his family to protect them.
2 others sent to the hospital, now in stable condition. The emotions still raw and difficult to process.
You feel vulnerable.
I feel hurt. I feel angry. I feel sadness. The biggest thing I keep asking myself is why?
Now, in terms of this gunman, his classmates from high school are claiming he was bullied on almost a daily basis. Rally-goers are also now speaking out, saying that some of them did report the 20-year-old as acting suspiciously, but that not enough was done. The investigation into a potential motive here is still very much ongoing. Reporting in Butler, Pennsylvania, I'm Kirsten Glavin, NBC 10 Boston.
Now listen, as you can expect, and as you just heard from the people there in Kirsten's story, Americans are still processing what exactly unfolded Saturday. A vigil was held for the other victims of the shooting. Pennsylvania State Police say the man killed at that rally was Corey Comparator. This is the man that Kirsten was just mentioning in her package. Here's what we know about him. He's 50 years old. He was a father of 2 at the rally with his wife and daughters. He was a volunteer firefighter for a local township. The governor of Pennsylvania says when that shooting started, he didn't hesitate, to protect his loved ones.
Corey died a hero. The Corey dove on his family to protect them last night.
He ordered flags be lowered to half staff to honor Comparator's service and sacrifice. 2 other men were also injured in that shooting. We now know a 57-year-old and a 75-year-old are both in the hospital this morning. All right, so from this, now we take you to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is a live look there, and you can see they are ready for the Republican National Convention, which starts today. Of course, as you can imagine, security is now a top priority. I'm sure security was already at the top of the list. Alicia Palumbo live in the newsroom right now. Not unprecedented, right? When we have an event of this scale, right, a large-scale political event like this, that security is top of mind, but especially given what happened this weekend, and one where the former president is the centerpiece of what's about to happen.
Yeah, that's right, Melody. Obviously, everyone will be on heightened alert, but the Secret Service did raise some eyebrows yesterday, saying it will be making no changes to its security plans for the convention. From the air and on the ground, security has become a major focus as the Republican National Convention kicks off in Milwaukee today. Following the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, there's been renewed scrutiny of the Secret Service and its ability to keep the presumptive nominee and others attending the convention safe.
We will continue to assess the security environment and adapt our security measures as appropriate.
But the Secret Service says it's making no changes to its current security plans for the convention.
During our extensive planning efforts, we have accounted for various security scenarios that may arise, and we are confident in the plan we have implemented for the Republican National Convention this week. That security plan will remain in place.
Retired FBI agent Michael Tabman says despite that outward message to the public, he believes federal authorities are on heightened alert.
We're in a very dangerous situation, at least for the next few weeks, while I saw this copycat syndrome is going to be out there, and law enforcement really has to keep their antenna up, detecting any kind of intelligence information that indicates there's more of a threat out there.
Now, security inside the hard perimeter of the convention is primarily being handled by federal law enforcement, while the area surrounding the RNC is a coordinated effort between local, state, and federal authorities. Live in the newsroom, Alicia Palumbo, NBC 10 Boston.
All right, Alicia, thanks so much for your reporting there. Meanwhile, President Biden held an historic primetime address to the nation, urging Americans to reject political violence and resolve to peaceful discussion.
While we may disagree, we are not enemies. We're neighbors, we're friends, co-workers, citizens, and most importantly, we're fellow Americans. We must stand together. There is no place in America for this kind of violence.
Take a look at what happened.
So he made those comments last night from the Oval Office, as you just saw there. He also emphasized the need to lower the temperature in politics. He cited several violent political attacks in recent years, including the attack on the husband of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. We want to remind you that NBC 10's J.C. Monahan and Matt Pritchard will be live reporting from Milwaukee, Wisconsin all day at the RNC right here on NBC 10 Boston. So stay with us for their reporting. And tonight, Lester Holt sits down with President Joe Biden for an exclusive one-on-one interview. You can watch a preview on NBC Nightly News tonight, and then the full unedited interview will air in a primetime special at 9 p.m. right here on NBC 10 Boston. Let's come back to some local news we're following for you right now. Breaking just into our newsroom, a former prosecutor found guilty of rape has been sentenced to prison. Gary Zarola was found guilty last month. Back in 2021, prosecutors say Zarola broke into a 21-year-old's Boston apartment and sexually assaulted her while she slept. He was just sentenced to 5 to 10 years in prison. Now 52 years old, Zarola was acquitted of several other rape cases, some dating as far back as 2008. Also breaking for you right now in Revere, an 80-year-old man was killed in a house fire there. This happened early this morning on Patriot Parkway. That's where we find NBC 10's Manash Kungwari. Manash, the heat must have made this far more difficult for those firefighters.
It definitely was a factor in them fighting this fire. I can tell you that 80-year-old man was one of 6 people that was living in that home right there. You can see the flames are all put out now. Board-up crews are here helping the family seal up the windows that fire crews had to break in order to fight the fire. But unfortunately for this family, this home is being deemed uninhabitable. Now, the Revere Deputy Fire Chief says they were called to the scene at 5:45 this morning on reports of heavy smoke coming from the basement of the home, and someone was trapped inside. That 80-year-old crews arrived to find everyone else in the home escaped on their own. They immediately went inside and found the 80-year-old man lying unconscious. He was carried out and CPR was administered, but he died at a nearby hospital.
Always hard, especially challenging when you show up with just a few guys and you have to rescue, find, do a search and find someone first. It's always challenging.
Well, I went on to ask the Deputy Fire Chief if they know a cause of the fire. At least at this time, he said no, and it's the very reason why this is still under investigation. We'll be keeping you updated, but for right now, we're live here in Revere. Manash Kungwari, NBC 10 Boston.
Manash, thank you. Let's go to Milford now, where we're also following breaking news, waiting to hear more details on a crime investigation. This is video from Purchase Street earlier this morning. You can see the road there blocked off. We have calls out to the Worcester County District Attorney's Office for more information. We'll stay on top of that. All right, coming up next here at 11, bids are due today for the embattled Steward Healthcare. The big questions surrounding today's deadline.